Hello everyone. As you can probably see, I'm wearing quite a dramatic blue makeup look today. And this makeup look has been created using Lancome's new makeup palette, Doll's Eyes, in number 4. Last week, where we were very lucky in that we were invited to watch Lancome's makeup artist, Alex Babsky, use this palette. And he showed us how to create this dramatic look using the shadows both wet and dry, which I thought was quite exciting. So I've tweaked the look a tiny bit for myself, and this video tutorial will show you how to create this look for yourself if you want to buy this palette and create this look at home. So let's start from the beginning. So before I begin, we've just started with creating just a very subtle base for the makeup. With Dramatic Eye, you don't want to go overboard with any of the other makeup that you're wearing. So just to start off with, I've used MAC Strobe Cream as a base. Then with Clarins Hydro Quench Tinted Moisturiser instead of a foundation, which gives really good coverage and is excellent during the summer months for giving your skin a little bit more moisture. Then Benefit's Hello Flawless powder just over the top, just to hold the makeup in place. And because you don't want any kind of heavy look on your lips when you're wearing the Dramatic Eye, I've used the Clarins Instant Light Perfect Smooth lip gloss, which is excellent if you suffer from any kind of dryness in your lips or any kind of sort of cracked lips from the winter, that kind of thing. This is perfect to give you sort of instantly smooth lips. That's what it says on the tin. So to start with, I'm using 4 different brushes. One sort of fine-ish brush that will give you kind of a semi-correct line when you're doing any of the precision work. A soft brush for blending, and then 2 sort of normal eye brushes then for adding any of the other colours. It's useful to have 2 because one of them we're going to use wet. What's amazing about this colour palette is that it works equally well wet as it works dry. But one tip, when you're using any of the shades wet, try to only use half of the colour in the palette. Otherwise, if you want to use the other half dry, you have to wait for it to dry before you can use it. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to create the contour of the eye, and the idea is to try and create as much elegance and length in the eye as possible. And so the way that you do that is you start with the main colour in the palette, which is number 1, or the blue colour, this one, which is to the left, and we're just going to create a contour around the eye. It's useful to have some kitchen paper or something like that on the side so that you can knock off the excess. That's how you stop getting it from all over your face. So the way to do this is to start under the eye, and you're going to draw a line under the eye, swooping upwards but looking straight ahead. If you look down or look up when you create this line, it's going to go on the wrong kind of angle and it'll create the wrong look for the arch of your eye. Remembering to look straight ahead, just pull the eyeshadow upwards. Just going to add a tiny bit more. Okay. This has now created the right shape for my eye. So I'm just going to fill in the rest now by more or less joining the dots over the top of my eye to this point here, which is where I want to take it to. At this point you can use one of the larger brushes if you'd prefer, but for now I'm just going to continue with this brush just to pull the shape over. So now that you've created the base colour for the eye, we can now get going with the fun stuff and start adding your wet colour just to create more kind of intensity. The best way to see how it's going to come out wet is if you try some on your hand dry first of all as a swatch. So that's the colour dry. And you then add a tiny bit of water to your brush. You can then pat some of it off, and then working with half of the palette, I'm going to take some of the colour wet. You can see it creates a much richer colour. And I'm just going to start working it up on my eye. And just working within the original colour that I've already applied. Okay, so we've now added blue, and you can see at the moment there's quite a defined difference between one colour and the other, and it looks very severe at the moment. So what we now need to do is blend these colours into one another, and the way that we do this is we add some of the dark blue colour dry onto another dry brush, which is why you need the extra blending brush, and you need to make sure that you keep half the shadow dry. So using a larger blending brush, this one, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of the dry shadow to the end, and I'm just going to start to work it into the other colour, just gently all across the top and then down the sides a little bit. So you can now see that we've blended one colour into the other, and we don't have the harsh line anymore that separates the two. But now what we need to do is we need to pull this colour under the eye so that there's more of a continuous kind of flow, and we keep this look of pulling the eye up. And so the way we do that is we go back to our original pointed brush, and we're going to use some of the darker colour and pull it under the eye and join it and blend it into the lighter colour that we've already applied. So what we now need to do is we need to lift the overall look by applying some of the lighter colours. And this is where your extra brush comes in handy. So working with whichever one of the light colours that you prefer, you can either use number 5 or number 2 as an accent. I prefer to use the number 2 myself. We're going to create an accent now over the brow and in the corner of the eye, and it's just going to make my eye look much more open. There's one more little tip that you can apply just to create an extra bit of depth to the colour and just to make your eye look even more open. And that is if you just rub your finger onto the accent colour you've been using, and then we're just going to dab it in the middle of the eye, and that's just going to really, really make the colour pop. I really like Urban Decay's 24/7 glide-on liners. They go on really, really easily. They stay on for hours and hours, and they are also really good value. They cost about £15, and they will last you an age. So using the liner now, I'm just going to pull it over the top of the eye. I'm not going to try and create anything like a flick or anything like that with it. It's just to intensify the eyelashes. And then I'm just going to add some on the inside of the eye as well, just to make the white really stand out. And now finally the mascara, which I'm using Benefit's Ethereal, which I really love. And there you have it. As you can see, I've now finished the look, having made up the other eye. I've also added a tiny bit of Benefit's Browsings product, which is a wonderful little compact that contains a wax and a shadow that can help you intensify your eyebrows. You can add as much or as little of it as you'd like, depending on what kind of look you'd like to go for. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll come back again soon. Bye.